Minimum wage jobs, man. It's basically just suffering in silence. You feel like all that hard work you're putting in, it just isn't worth it. I mean, that's kind of how I felt. I was like draining my soul away for fucking $11 an hour, bro. It sucked. And unfortunately, at some point in our lives, I mean, we all gotta work a minimum wage job. And hey, man, that's why I decided to start YouTube, because I'm like, I'm not doing that again. I'm like, that's pure hell. I'm not putting myself...
Yeah, minimum wage jobs is actual slavery. Like, slavery never went away, it just, like, evolved into a more camouflaged version.
through it. I'd much rather do something I enjoy. I don't know how many years ago at this point. At the end of 2019, my parents were like, hey, you're a lazy bum, go get a job. And at that point, I was old enough to work. So I was searching, and I was like, okay, where the hell do I even start? I decided to look at some places near me. And there was this one place that was a supermarket, and I'm like, alright, I guess I'll just work here. And I stayed at this supermarket job until my channel was successful. Without even me saying a word about it. You already know that it was booty. Like, I didn't even gotta say nothing. And of course, I nailed the interview, man. Like, I'm just such a stud. I just got the job, you know? I know, it took a valiant effort. I really had to prepare for the interview. No, I didn't. Like, I could have showed up in a ripped t-shirt if I wanted to, and I still would have got the job. Because they really just needed bodies on the register. Like, it was...
Yeah, you can literally be like a felon, and they'll hire you at a minimum wage job. And even if they don't hire you at that one place, there's like millions of places that are willing to pay you a non-livable wage to work your ass off.
It's crazy. And of course, when I started the job, I'm like, you know, this isn't so bad. And I was just like ringing people's groceries, whatever. And I'd have the same NPC beep bop boop conversations, like, I don't know, every now and then. Hey, Sonny, the weather's nice out there, isn't it? And I was just thinking to myself, bro, that's like the 50th time I heard that shit today. Like, come on. I know he's just trying to strike up conversation and be nice, but bro, oh my god, I'm gonna rip my hair out if I hear that shit one more time. But when I started out, man, I was lousy, alright? I was a bum. So I didn't really know how to keep a job. Realistically, I didn't really have much work ethic. So thankfully that kind of put me into shape.
They're good training grounds for what he's talking about, though. Like, trying to work on being stable, working hard consistently, stuff like that. But it's absolutely soul-crushing. Like, man, like, if you get comfortable working that job, holy shit. Like, that is just, like, don't get comfortable. Always be looking to try and move up or get a different job or, you know, go somewhere else where they pay more. Like, don't become, what do you call it, content.
Be able to run 2 YouTube channels. I would make so many mistakes when I first started. And bro, this one lady was always on my ass. Like, it was insane. Like, I just couldn't catch a break. She would just eyeball me and kind of just look to see if I was doing anything wrong, like 24/7. And
that's just how, like, the managers are, though, at minimum wage jobs. Like, I remember when I was younger working at Burger King or Lowe's, like, if you weren't doing something and there was nothing going on and you actually couldn't really do anything because everything was done, the managers would start panicking and they would literally have you rearrange stuff that has already been arranged so you can arrange it again, like just stupid shit like that. So if you've worked those types of jobs, you probably already know.
I'm like, I already got this booty job. Like, can I just do it in peace at least? Like, come on now. And some of the things that she pointed out were minor mistakes. And I'm like, this isn't gonna matter in like 2 years. Like, why the fuck are you screaming your head off at me about it? Like, this one night I was closing. And closing sucks. Because everyone and their mom enters the store in like the last 2 minutes. And I was the closing person on the register, of course. So everybody getting out depended on me working fast. So obviously, I gotta do my due diligence, you know, I gotta do everybody a favor, and I gotta work faster. And I was literally sweating when I walked out. I was huffing and puffing, man, like, I was like running to put the people's bags in.
Yeah, for whatever reason, every time I was closing, like, if I was working a closing shift, there would be nothing for like hours. And then always within the last like half an hour of closing, that's when the rush would start. Makes no
in their
sense.
cart. It was crazy because you'd think that lady would be like, oh yeah, thank you for working fast so I can get out of here. And she always had something to complain about. So apparently when I scanned someone's discount card, I didn't check for ID. I'm not gonna say anything, but it would have looked so bad on my part if I checked for ID. And of course I didn't give a fuck. I just gave him the benefit of the doubt. Because at the end of the day, it's a tiny discount, and I don't know why she really cared that much. It was like the fastest service somebody's ever had, man. And I was sweating buckets after the shift was over. When I got home, I sat down on the couch and collapsed. The workers here were slaving away, and I had to go in the very next day, of course. Like, people in school and shit like that would literally call us blank, like our store name, slaves. Like, that's how bad it was. So I go in, and that lady's back behind the counter, and she gives me my drawer, and she's like, yeah, so that customer that you had last night, and you said this. And I'm like, well, how did you know exactly what I said? Like, this lady had to be stalking me on the cameras or something, because how do you even know that I said that? Like,
No, the customer definitely approached the manager. I hate people like that. So, like, they just make it harder for everyone else.
you weren't even anywhere to be seen in the area at that time. She was like, you always gotta check for ID on the discount card. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. I'm not gonna have this job in like a year, but whatever. So I kind of just went through the motions after that. And I didn't care about doing a superb job or anything like that. I was just trying to get through the day, man. And most people that came up to me at the register, they knew that. They knew I was suffering in silence in that time. And some people were just assholes for no reason. Like, sometimes I didn't even speak a word, and people would somehow be mad at me. Like, how does that even work? I have no idea. But of course, since I'm just trying to get through the day and I'm going through the motions, I don't really, like, have the urge to be, like, the best bagger on planet Earth. This lady came up to me, and when I started
When you're getting paid that amount and there's no, like, opportunity to move up, there's no incentive to work hard. Like, it's a decision that you make that will completely not change your situation or the situation around those around you. Just because that's the environment, like, that's how it's built, you know, and, you know, they're not even going to fire you for that because those positions, like, they're constantly circulating through people, and, you know, the type of people that they hire or that are attracted to those jobs are people that don't have, like, a good work ethic anyway. So, you know, it's just like this whole spiraling, like, death spiral.
bagging her groceries, she started, like, yelling at me and was like, that is not how you do your job. Do it right.
When you're starting a business, every dollar counts.
Right, and she was basically instructing me how to do my job. And of course, I was so pissed. Like, you don't know how bad I wanted to chew her out. But I didn't say anything because at that time, I still needed the job. You know how bad I wanted to grab the bread that she bought and just fucking squish it into oblivion, man. And I thought, alright, you know what? The best way to get at her is when she leaves, just be like, have a great day, and just smile teeth and gums. And she just looked at my goofy ass smiling and then just looked back down. And then she, like, looked angry and was, like, kind of muttering something to herself. And I was like, okay, I knew at this point I got in her head. So I was turning
She was probably embarrassed.
up, doing a little dance in my head, like, yes, sir. When people were mean to me, that was my objective, all right? I was just going to get in their head by being, like, overly nice. Even though I wanted to flip them off so badly, I held back and I didn't do it. And I know some of you be like, bro, how did you hold back? And honestly, I have no idea. There was this guy that was yelling at me about his goddamn potatoes being $3.99 instead of $4.99. Big dog, it's just $1. Like, I don't know why you care. The world is not going to end just because your potatoes are an extra $1.
Literally, the time that people take to argue about, like, 30 cents, like, that time is just so much more expensive, and people don't value their time.
Like, okay, like, they're $3.99, not $4.99, sonny. I'm like, okay, bro. Like, is the world collapsing? Is the world about to end? So there was this one weird dude. I gotta say, he's the weirdest guy I've seen in my 2 years working there. He went up to one of my homies at the register, and he was like, talking to him about how he debates and stuff. And he said he does, like, mass debate. right? Like he talks in front of a shit ton of people in a crowd. And this weird dude took the opportunity to make a dad joke out of that. And he was like, "Are you a masturbator?" Shut the fuck up. Like, bro, when is your next stand-up comedy? Please tell me, I need to know. I'm not saying I'm the funniest person on earth, but come on, bro. Really? You gonna make a joke about choking the chicken to a kid who was 17 at the time? Like, bro, what are you doing? Are you trying to be on an FBI watch list? And now this guy, he had lots of lore to his life, and he told us all about this GoFundMe, I guess, that he had. And this GoFundMe was like 30 pages long, and he would always stay in the store and use the store's Wi-Fi to like type it up. Bro was grinding this GoFundMe just for no one to donate, unfortunately. He had to take it down, sadly. The legacy of Crates Guy no longer lives on. Yeah, that's what we called him, by the way. It was a sad day. And one day, it was the last break-in point for him. He got caught pissing in the parking lot by the clerk that was getting the carts. And we were all like, ain't no way, bro. That's crazy. Bro was really posted up, like, peeing out in the open in the parking lot. Like, bro, we can see you, big dog. There was a lot of lore, and I don't feel like getting into it. But that was around the time when I was done with my job. And holy shit, I cannot tell you the feeling I had when it was over. It's a feeling that I can only dream of, man. It was crazy. When I handed in that form and I said, goodbye, I'm putting in my 2 weeks. Oh my god, bro, it felt fucking amazing. And I was glad that I was finally able to lock in on YouTube. I didn't have to worry about this shit anymore. And my first channel was starting to pick up, so I'm like, I'm done. I'm out of here. And when I got in the car that very day, oh my god, there were some classics playing on the radio. I was like turning up. Man, I felt free from the shackles, free from everything, free from, and just staring at the wall for 6-7 hours a day. And I felt like the biggest NPC alive being a cashier. And we also had to do a lot of other shit that didn't even involve cashiering, so it truly was just unfortunate. But I sat down on the couch and
Yeah, if you stay at a job like that for more than like a year or two, like, you're a strong person, man.
felt victory.
Because that shit's just completely soul-crushing.
I truly felt like I won in life. I did it. And a lot of you gotta feel like that when you get out of college. You're free from the shackles of a minimum wage job. For those of you that still have one, I'm praying for you. My prayers go out to you. Watch some videos on the end.
Alright, well, that's it for this video. Let me know what you guys think. Till next time.